on that film set. She alleged sexual harassment, boundary violations. Penthouse, he is confronted by Ryan Reynolds, again her husband, and their very good friend Taylor Swift. Also was working on the rooftop scene today. I really love what you did. It really does help a lot. Makes it so much more fun and interesting. Reynolds confronted Baldoni aggressively, saying, "How dare you bleeping ask about my wife's weight? What's wrong with you?" Example, in June of 2023, Lively apparently invited Baldoni to her trailer while she was breastfeeding, because that text reads, "I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out lines." Baldoni's take on this message, though, is that it shows Lively was inviting him into her space.
Hollywood's golden couple is in deep trouble, and the latest receipts coming to light? Nothing short of brutal. Baldoni swears he and Lively were besties, sharing jokes, not lawsuits. But now, their texts tell a very different story. A text exchange from May 2023, Baldoni playfully teased, "I like sentimental Blake," to which Lively shot back, "Never met her." He pushed further with, "I also like a-hole Blake," and Lively, never one to miss a joke, responded, "I've met her, so have my suppositories."
On that film set, she alleged sexual harassment, boundary violations. Those text messages, Baldoni says, "I like sentimental Blake," and this prompts Lively to say, "Never met her."
That's right, folks. Nothing says a hostile work environment like swapping digestive health jokes.
Lively responds and jokes right back and says, "I've met her, so have my suppositories."
Baldoni claimed things spiraled when Lively allegedly took over the film, starting with the infamous rooftop scene. She asked to rewrite it, and after some back and forth, Baldoni, the actual director, reluctantly agreed. What he got wasn't a tweak, but a complete script overhaul. When he suggested blending both versions, huge mistake, Lively took it personally, and suddenly it became a full-scale creative coup.
In this lawsuit, Baldoni recounts how Lively had asked him if she could, quote, take a pass at writing the scene. His version of the scene drastically differed from the original, and that left Baldoni really unsure about her changes.
Then came the power move. Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift entered the chat. Baldoni was summoned to Lively's penthouse, where they heavily praised her version, making it clear, "This is the script now, deal with it." Trying to save face, Baldoni later texted Lively, "I really love what you did. It really does help a lot, makes it so much more fun and interesting, and I would have felt that way without Ryan and Taylor." Translation? I totally wasn't just peer pressured by the biggest pop star on the planet and her superhero husband.
Penthouse, he is confronted by Ryan Reynolds, again her husband, and their very good friend Taylor Swift. Also was working on the rooftop scene today. I really love what you did. It really does help a lot. Makes it so much more fun and interesting.
But instead of celebrating the W, Lively wasn't thrilled. Her issue? Baldoni praised her passion for the rewrite, but not her actual contributions. She vented, "It didn't feel great for me or them to have my passion be praised instead of any specific contribution."
She seemed to be really bothered by Baldoni praising her passion for the scene as opposed to her actual contribution.
Basically, she wasn't looking for a gold star for effort. She wanted full creative credit.
"Didn't feel great for me or them to have my passion be praised instead of any specific contribution."
And if this text chain wasn't spicy enough, Lively then brought up how Ryan and Taylor have her back because, in her words, they don't give a bleep about that, and because of that, everyone listens to them with immense respect and enthusiasm. So I guess I have to stop worrying about people liking me.
"I'm not always good at making sure I'm seen and utilized for fear of threatening egos or fear of affecting the ease of the process." Their sign that he wasn't just dealing with Blake Lively anymore. He was now up against two of the most powerful and influential celebrities.
Now this is where things get really personal and really messy. One of the biggest controversies in this whole lawsuit? Blake Lively's weight. Yep, you heard that right. According to Baldoni, he had a simple and very valid concern. There was a scene where he had to lift Lively, and considering his less than perfect back history, he wanted to make sure it wouldn't result in a chiropractor's dream payday. He claims he didn't directly ask Lively about her weight, but instead reached out to her personal trainer for a back strengthening workout plan. You know, to not throw his spine out while playing the romantic lead. The trainer even sent him a nice little 4-step plan to help out.
And messages within the lawsuit show Baldoni asking Lively's personal trainer for a back strengthening workout.
Problem solved, right? Wrong. The next thing Baldoni knew, he was allegedly summoned to Lively's penthouse for what can only be described as a Hollywood-style intervention, and Ryan Reynolds was waiting, and he was not happy. According to the lawsuit, Reynolds went off on Baldoni, reportedly yelling, "How dare you bleeping ask about my wife's weight? What's wrong with you?" Imagine getting verbally tackled by Deadpool in a luxury New York penthouse.
He claims he was summoned to Lively's penthouse, where he was allegedly berated by Ryan Reynolds.
Baldoni claims the confrontation was so intense that he apologized profusely, and that's when the infamous lift scene was scrapped. And here's where things get even messier.
Reynolds confronted Baldoni aggressively, saying, "How dare you bleeping ask about my wife's weight? What's wrong with you?"
Lively later claimed that Baldoni's weight-related questions were fat-shaming, turning this logistical stunt concern into a body image controversy. But Baldoni wasn't having it. His receipts? A series of text messages showing he was nothing but supportive and reassuring when it came to Lively's body image.
Exchanges that show Baldoni was allegedly supportive and reassuring when it came to Lively's body image.
Case in point, in February 2023, months before the trainer debacle, expressed insecurities about her postpartum body. Baldoni's alleged response? "I want you to know you will look amazing. Anything you're insecure about, we will talk through and get creative together to make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need.
I want you to know you will look amazing. Anything you're insecure about, we will talk through and get creative together and make you comfortable."
If Baldoni was out here shaming, he was doing it very badly, because that sounds like the kind of pep talk you pay life coaches for. Lively's response? She thanked him and acknowledged that while he would never truly understand the physical challenges she was going through, his support meant a lot to her. That's not exactly the reaction you'd expect if she felt attacked over her body.
I understand that you'll never personally know all the nuances of the challenges unless you live this physical moment in time I'm in. Evidence of Lively's vulnerability, her gratitude suggesting that she was comfortable enough to share her personal struggles.
Case in point, a text exchange from May 2023 where Lively, while discussing wardrobe choices, allegedly refers to herself in a sensual manner. In this message, she casually comments on a costume choice saying, "We'll show you both ways, but the beanie is much sexier. It feels TV without, especially with a crop top in the snow, it justifies the rest of the skin. And also as a girl, I would check out walking down the street because it washes the effort off the rest of the look.
We'll show you both ways, but the beanie is much sexier. It's the look. Feels TV without, especially with a crop top."
Now Baldoni is waving this text around like a gotcha moment because remember, Lively accused him of making inappropriate remarks about her physical appearance, but here she is referring to herself as sexy.
That Baldoni was referring to Lively as sexy, but she was the one who used that word.
Then there's the ballbuster text, which Baldoni claims is yet another contradiction in Lively's story. In another message from May 2023, Lively allegedly describes herself as a ballbuster, writing, "I'm just a ballbuster, but it means a lot to me. I care a great deal."
And then there's another text where Lively seemingly uses the term ballbuster. So this text reads, "I'm just a ballbuster, but it means a lot to me. I care a great deal."
According to Baldoni, if he had ever used this term to describe her, it would have been considered wildly inappropriate. Yet here she was, using it herself. This, he argues, raises serious questions about how uncomfortable she actually was working with him.
That Baldoni says if he had made it himself to Lively, she would have definitely found it inappropriate.
And then we have the breastfeeding incident, because of course, things had to get even more complicated. In June 2023, Lively allegedly texted Baldoni, inviting him into her trailer while she was pumping, saying, "I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out lines." Seems pretty open, right?
Example, in June of 2023, Lively apparently invited Baldoni to her trailer while she was breastfeeding, because that text reads, "I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out lines."
Well, fast forward a few months, and Lively later claimed that Baldoni showed up uninvited while she was breastfeeding, essentially flipping the entire narrative on its head. Baldoni's take? He says this message proves that Lively was the one inviting him into her personal space, not the other way around.
Baldoni would show up uninvited to her trailer while she was breastfeeding. So he said, she said.
He argues that she created this relaxed, collaborative environment until suddenly she didn't.
Baldoni's take on this message, though, is that it shows Lively was inviting him into her space.
One of the juiciest bombshells in Baldoni's lawsuit, Blake Lively is allegedly staging an editing room takeover. Now, in Hollywood, actors don't usually get access to the raw dailies, the sacred unpolished footage where directors and editors work their magic and erase all the awkward blinks and weird angles. But according to Baldoni, Lively wasn't just interested in seeing her best takes, she wanted in. Fully, completely, all up in the editing bay. During the 2023 writer's strike, Baldoni had started assembling the film's rough cut when Lively allegedly started making persistent requests to get access to the raw footage. In one text, she politely, yet firmly, pushed for it, writing, "Hey, would you mind giving me access to the dailies? I appreciate you may be too slammed right now to make this happen, but maybe someone else could facilitate?" If this was just a one-time ask, maybe no one would have thought much of it, but according to Baldoni, she kept pushing. By July 2023, Lively followed up with another text that was a little more direct.
"Giving me access to the dailies. I appreciate you may be too slammed right now to make this happen, but maybe someone else can facilitate?
Please let me know who to reach out to get access to the full gallery of dailies. I'm so looking forward to seeing all that we have in the can." And this? Well, it allegedly set off alarm bells behind the scenes.
Who to reach out to get access to the full gallery of dailies. I'm so looking forward to seeing all that we have in the can.
The lawsuit claims that producers and the CEO of Wayfarer Studios, Jamie Heath, were not thrilled about Lively's sudden interest in the raw footage.
Producer and the CEO of Wayfarer Studios, Jamie Heath, are reportedly shown to be against granting Lively access.
Internal messages from the lawsuit show their resistance, with one producer writing, "I'd say no, but check her contract first."
"I'd say no, but check her contract first." That's what one producer says.
Meanwhile, Heath allegedly shut it down with, "It's an absolute no from me as well."
And then a response, supposedly from Heath, says, "It's an absolute no from me as well."
To Baldoni, this wasn't just about an actress wanting to stay informed. He claims this was part of a bigger strategy, one where Lively slowly inched her way into every major decision about the film. First, it was wardrobe changes, then script rewrites, and now the final cut. And here's where things get even juicier. Baldoni claims he saw it coming. In a foreshadowing moment straight out of a thriller, he allegedly texted an unnamed person. She will then start to edit the movie and tell me which takes to use if she has access to everything.
Believes that she will then start to edit the movie and tell me which takes to use if she has access to everything.
Another message from Baldoni reads, "Also, this is exactly how the writing process started. She asked if it was okay if she could take a pass at some dialogue tweaks on the rooftop scene. First, she asked for a small thing, then she took the whole thing."
She asked if it was okay if she could take a pass at some dialogue tweaks on the rooftop scene.
When Lively kept pressing for access, Baldoni responded, still trying to keep things professional. "Obviously, you know I want your input. That's why I sent the 5-hour playlist. But at this point, it's too early for me to share all the dailies. Once I am physically in the edit and I've touched scenes myself, I'd love to share with you."
Obviously, you know I want your input. That's why I sent the 5-hour playlist. But at this point, it's too early for me to share all the dailies.
But apparently that wasn't enough for Lively. According to the lawsuit, she fired back with, "None of the producers have had access to the dailies, it's just you."
None of the producers have had access to dailies? It's just you?
Baldoni stood his ground, clarifying that he wasn't the only one with access, replying, "No, not just me. Redacted name and Jamie Heath have access to dailies."
Responding, "No, not just me. Redacted name and Jamie Heath have access to dailies."
But according to him, Lively wasn't backing down.
Baldoni responds. He clarifies that the dailies were restricted to only the top-level people on the film, raising Lively's claims against Baldoni. Are they true about what he did, or were they fabricated? Were they distorted?
What started as a simple task turned into a relentless push to control the film's final product. Join me on the next one.